Hello everyone, what's good, what's poppin', welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Caroline, and today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you guys how to cut, layer, and shape your curly hair, because wearing it like this right out of the box, oof, jump scare. It's only acceptable if you're my mama or my auntie, because they don't know no better. But us girls, we do know better because we follow Caroline. And if you're new here and you don't follow me, make sure you do, because one thing about me, I'm gonna get you right every single time. So if you're interested in how I got this beautiful look and shaped my hair, then sit down, relax, and let's get right into today's tutorial. The way that we're working with today is from, I can't find the box, but it's from, they're so cute, they give me a little robe, Nadula Hair Company. Because I know before we get to the cutting, I might have to do a little bit of customization. And I didn't want to like let y'all start thinking that's how the hair came out the box if I just showed up. So I got to show y'all how the hair look out the box. So for this wig, this is their, I think it's a kinky curly or jerry curl unit. This is 22 inches, 13 by 4 frontal. Get that inside look. 13 by 4, meaning like, you know, it's from here to here, 13 inches, down here, 4. Has an elastic band for adjustability. I like this wig because y'all know how I feel about having my clips. It got the clips in the back, clips on the side. She's secure all around. And from what I'm looking, this is one of those wigs that come with the baby hairs, like the natural little curly baby hairs already pulled out. The hairline, it looks pretty like pre-plucked decently enough for me, because what I want to do, the hairstyle I want to do is just like I want to like a curly cut with like bangs, like a voluminous curly cut. So I don't need the hairline, because it's not really about the hairline in this type of style. It's more about the shape of the hair. So I don't need too plucked of a hairline, and what they've done, it looks pretty decent for me. But what I do want to do is bleach the knots, because the knots look like they bleach. I know my camera's not focusing well these days. The knots look bleached, but up close is not. And I feel like since I'm not going to pluck, the least I can do is bleach the knots so I can get like a really scalp look. Here's what the wig was looking right on my head after I bleached the knots and did my little glueless installation. And this is what the curls look like straight out of the box. And you know, it's not giving much. Hopping right into the shaping, first thing I did is I put the elastic band over the lace, one to protect my head from getting burned from the hot comb, and two to hold down the wig since it is a glueless install. We're going to be doing a lot of pulling and pushing. First thing you got to do is just really press and shape the hairline. So I go with my hot comb and I'm just pressing everything upwards, but like a little bit slanted to the sides. Like you're going up at an angle. You want to make sure all of the roots are pressed and pulled up to get a really nice natural fall of the hair later. You don't want to press the hair just like straight across like you normally would to get it flat on the sides, like on the top, because that's going to give it a different look. We're going from like a natural afro fall, and for it to fall across your face a certain way, the roots need to be pressed upwards. Now the roots are pressed up, I can go ahead and go back in and start pressing it down to the sides like I was saying earlier, but I'm just doing that at the top to get the top to be flat. And you see I barely did like enough. I just did a little bit touch on the top to get the top nice and flat. Now that I have a general shaping of how I want my roots to be, I'm going in and just brushing or combing the hair out with a wide tooth comb. I like to just comb out the original curl pattern of the hair before I drench it with water. I feel like just combing it and letting it get in its poofy state will make defining the curl is a lot easier. And so once I've got the hair brushed out and all poofed up, I can go ahead and start drenching it with water. I prefer to cut my hair when it's wet. Curly hair specifically, I prefer to cut it when it's wet, fully drenched. I feel like I just see the shape of the hair better when it's wet versus its dry form. At the same time, I'm being mindful of how I'm brushing and combing the hair over, because I remember said the way the roots are is also important. So I'm not trying to like brush it all downwards. I'm doing up and over to the side like I'm trying to show you over here. I will say this hair is on the higher maintenance side, because getting it to even just absorb the water was a bit of a tussle. I drenched it with water and it still looks pretty dry, but I had an easier time combing the curl pattern out, so now I'm just going in my wide tooth comb again to just help comb out that steamed in curl pattern that comes with the hair at the box to help bring out the natural pattern, and it brushed out a lot easier now the hair is wet. But you want to make sure you just comb out that old pattern so you can really see the full shape of the hair. Hair has been fully brushed out. It's nice and drenched. Even though it's drenched, it looks pretty dry. That's how water resistant this hair wanted to be. But I'm getting ready to cut the hair, but before I cut it, I like to just press the hair upwards, like the roots again, because now I can really see the roots properly pressed with the hair brushed out. And I want to put the hair up in like little pigtails, and I like to put the pigtails up around my ear. So I'm like literally just trying to make sure the ponytail starts around the curve of my ear. To make this cut not be even and look funky, you got to make sure you're like gathering everything from the back to the front and just letting it all just come to the curve area around your ear. I hope that makes sense. That's just how I think about it visually. And I get a nice little tight scrunchie to get the ponytail nice and high and tight, and do the same thing on the other side. So when I say around my ear, I don't mean like you're not putting a ponytail right on top of your head, the back of your head. You're putting it on the sides of your ear to get that rounded shape once you take the pigtails down. And then I just go ahead and find a good cutting point. I knew I didn't want to cut too much length off this hair. I just wanted it to be more shaped than shorter. So I didn't want to cut way too much. Just have the hair pulled out vertically and slide your hand down the shaft of the pigtail ponytail. And I just cut literally straight across right where my little fingertips are. I'm not cutting at an angle. I'm cutting vertically straight across. I know it worked whenever my pigtails come down at an angle. So like it's a little bit short to longest on the side right there. That's how I know the layering worked. Do the same thing on the other side. Try to remember how much you cut off last time. I couldn't remember, so it's never perfect on both sides, but do try to remember how much you did last time on the other side. Same thing, cut straightly in a straight line right across. Immediately after taking this pigtail down and comparing it to the other side, I could tell that I cut more on that side than this side, so I had to go back in and use my finger as a guide to try to cut a little bit more, but not too much, just enough to make sure the hair was even on both sides to the best of my ability. So here I'm just trying to check both sides to make sure it's coming like it's even. Now that I feel satisfied with my hair, I just take my little pigtails down, and that's really it when it comes to getting that like nice voluminous shape with your hair. To clean everything up, I just went ahead and just cut the ends evenly, because I felt like the ends were not as properly cut. It never is, honestly, so I always have to go in manually and just evenly cut the ends because I couldn't tell how much I was cutting earlier. And now I can go in and start doing my definition process. This process is a little tedious, but it's worth the effort at the end, because the end result, the curls be curling. Because this hair, initially, I would not gravitate towards this wig at first with the way the curls look at the box, but once I put the effort, as you will see, so this is a tedious process. To make it more easier for myself, I like to just do pre-section sections. So I section my sections into sections just to make it a lot easier to work with. I like this mousse, Lotta Body mousse. It's my favorite mousse I've decided on my curly wigs. I like to go in with a very generous amount of that product, and I saturate each section that I have with the hair. And once I have it nice and saturated, I start going in with my detangling brush and just brushing and combing the hair until the curl patterns start to form. Once the curl starts to form and get nice and clumpy together, I go in now and start finger coiling each little section to get the hair to stay in this defined coiled state. It's the finger coils that honestly makes this the most labor intensive part, because with hair like this, the bigger the hair gets, like this hair gets really big, you need to add more finger coils because it's not going to stay as defined later on when it's dry. If you have like a deep wave texture, or like a texture where it doesn't get that big and the clumps and the coils and the ringlets stay together, you don't have to add that many finger coils in it. But I will say the more finger coils you add, it does make a big difference on how defined and just how noticeable your curls will look later in the more voluminous dried state. So you can go ahead and not put as many as I did, but it does make a difference with the more coils you put, especially if your hair is really tight like this one.
Make I put one hand for fire, fire, fire burning. I go put hand for fire. Baby girl, you bad. Girl, the way you whine, I demand over you, girl. I demand over you, girl. Say you are my woman, my superwoman. I demand over you, girl. I demand over you, girl. If I tell you that I love you, oh, Versace and Gucci for your body, oh baby. No do, honey fall on
I get to the top, I like to make sure I am putting the mousse on the roots as well in the same direction that we hot combed everything, and making sure I'm flattening down everything, because the mousse is great for styling hair in general. So it's going to help hold the hair in a nice flat. I want the top to be flat and everything else to have volume, so I like to just make sure I'm spreading that mousse to flatten the hair for later on. Same thing, brushing the hair, brushing it to get the curls to form and pop, and then going in with my finger coils. Once the hair is fully coiled up and been defined, I prefer to cut the elastic band off than pull it off, because I don't want to ruin these curls right now. Right now they are in their setting form. Any shake, move, or bump will cause them to get frizzy, and when it's drying, you don't want the hair to be frizzy. To also help secure and lock in these coils, I'm going in with something new. I'm using a light holds hairspray. I saw someone on TikTok use hairspray for this method, and honestly it makes a lot of sense, because now the coils are going to really not get frizzy or like get big, because you want the hair to dry tight like this right now. Don't touch it, don't run your hands through it, do nothing. Let it fully air dry. If you don't have time to let it air dry, use a diffuser and let it dry that way. Your hair is fully air dried, you should be looking like this. It should be giving your mama's wig that you just tossed on, okay? Tight clump curls that don't look like something, but we're gonna make it look like something. First, I just go ahead and spray this little oil sheen spray into my hands and help just scrunch and break that cast that the hair is in. Just scrunch everything up to help soften it back up. Once I've broken the cast, then I go in with my wide tooth comb and I start just picking the hair out. And I say picking, I mean I'm like combing it out at the roots, but I'm not combing it all the way through to the end. So we want to keep those tight, defined ringlets. I just want to create volume in the hair. So I'm just going in and picking everything out, teasing at the root, just giving it a nice pull and stretch. I also flip my head over and pick it out at the bottom, because I want volume underneath the hair as well. Once I feel like I've fluffed the hair up, now I'm just doing some tweaking to the shape, because like I said, this is like a simple basic just rounded cut, but I wanted more like a V cut with my shape. So I had to go in and just do some tweaks here and there. Like I wanted to add a little bit of a bang in the front, so I'm just cutting diagonally on those curls to get a little bang going on. And then I'm just cutting some like frayed pieces that are not part of the vision, if that makes sense. The hair still wasn't looking just it for me, so I had to go in and still do some more fluffing. It's gonna be a lot of fluffing and separating for you to get that like look that you're going for. So be patient. If you feel like, oh, it doesn't look like that, Caroline, that you probably just need to fluff it out some more. It's never not fluffing, but be careful to not like separate the ends and cause frizz. As I was cutting the hair and also fluffing, I was starting to get some frizz in some parts. Also, whenever I cut the hair, like you cut it after it's been dried, the ends are not as coiled anymore, so I had to go back in with mousse and just re-finger coil those sections that either were not as coiled or needed to be recoiled again. Now that I've cut and just fluffed the hair up to my liking, you can see I'm already feeling it. I just want to do some finishing touches and finish off the shaping to get the hair to fall and have that lift in the front like I want it. I'm going with my hot comb again and just hitting the roots underneath and just doing a little scoop underneath the hair to get the hair to fall towards my face a lot more naturally and have a little bit of volume at the top. And here we are with the finished look, and it just looks so good. The hair is nice and voluminous. It has a little bit of shape, a little bit of personality. You can see how you can see the curls, each curl, but at the same time the hair is big. And that's all because we let the hair sit and set first in the coil pattern, and then we fluffed it out once it's fully dry. And this is how the hair looks up close, the curl pattern up close. It just looks so good. You could get the hair bigger if you wanted to. It gets a lot bigger than this, but I felt it was just like my preference of how big I want it. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, enjoyed this look, and I'll see you guys in another one. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and peace out, Girl Scouts. Goodbye.
Nadula.